Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today and welcome to this educational presentation of a simple tool that will change the way you trade. Now this promises to be a great presentation because I'm going to show you a new feature we have on our platform that can really elevate your trading. For example, this came out about 2 or 3 months ago this past summer at the end of August. Yahoo Finance announced that Apple becomes the world's first $1 trillion company. Okay, we all heard that before. It had recently been the first $1 billion company, but now it's the first $1 trillion company. So this was in late August of 2018. And if you look at the chart, you see that news came out right here, okay? Now here's the way most traders will invest or buy a stock. They'll hear that news and they'll say to themselves, well, that must be really great for the company. After all, it wouldn't be worth that much unless people were buying it or investing in it. So I guess I should jump into it. Or maybe you have more shares of the stock and you want to buy and attribute more to your account, so you buy some more. And so this is the way traders usually will trade when an outside source or something tells them in their mind that the stock is valid. Well, with the tool I'm going to be sharing with you today, you actually would have known to purchase Apple or to see a buy setup in Apple back here. And that would have given you a full month prior to the news to enter into the stock and potentially capture upwards of 22 points. You see, the reason why most traders don't trade this way is because they're relying on an outside source or someone or something else to tell them when to get in, when to get out, what to buy, what to sell. Well, in today's presentation, I'm going to share with you a great tool that we now have on our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform I designed with Proprietary strategies, that will help you listen to the market so that you don't have to rely on these outside sources, so that you'll know right off the bat what the market is telling you what it wants to do, a full month sometimes in advance of an announcement. So welcome once again. This promises to be a great presentation. My name is Steven Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. 9 years ago, I teamed up with Proprietary Strategies with one goal in mind, and that was just simply to educate traders. You see, it's our belief that the reason why most traders fail is because they're simply not educated and learning how to listen to the market. So we rely on someone, most likely someone or something else, to tell us how to buy, how to sell. And so we go to a chat room, we go to their website, we listen on TV for an earnings announcement or what some guru is saying, but we're not listening to the thing that's right in front of us. That's the market. So that was our goal, to teach you how to listen to the market and get you into that percentile of traders that are consistently generating profits, or at least being consistent in the market, going in the right direction of your P&L. Now, I've been trading for 41 years. I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for 16 years. 9 of those years I was a specialist. So I made markets in roughly about 50 stocks during the crash of 1987 in the bull market. So I've accumulated a lot of knowledge. I've accumulated a lot of tips and techniques that work in terms of consistency. All right, I'm going to share with you some really great ones today and show you how simple it is to find them on our new platform. But before we begin, as usual, we are required by law to first share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I am going to show you a lot of performance results using this new feature, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And also, please remember that all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. So as you're taking a brief moment to view our required disclaimer, I would also like to take this time to invite you to follow us on Twitter. I post different things every day. Today I posted some financial wisdom, things to help you along the way to become a consistent trader. We also post different information and education in order to elevate your trading. So please feel free to follow us on Twitter. Okay, so as I stated in the opening statements, we are different from most webinars you may have attended in that our only goal is simply to teach you. That's all we want to do. We're not here to promise that we have some system that generates thousands of % per year and that you'll be able to retire, or that you'll be able to take that long trip you've wanted to, or buy that dream home. We don't promise that. We give you the tools and the tips and the information, but you have to put the hard work in because you're in charge of your trading. See, that's why most traders fail, is because you're relying on someone or something else to tell you what to do. You have to be in charge of your own trading. And the reason why most traders aren't is because they've never been supplied with that information. So this is what we do. As you see here, my goal is not to force feed you signals. It's not to tell you what to buy or what to sell. I can't tell you, on a daily basis I get emails where someone will say, Steve, Should I buy this, or what do you think of this? Or should I sell this, or what's your opinion about the market? You should never be asking those questions. You should know right off the bat what you want to do. You should never rely on someone giving you advice on what to do. You should rely on someone teaching you so that you never have to take advice. You should be in charge of your own trading destiny. These are the same things I was taught when I was struggling when I first started trading some 4 decades ago, and what I truly believe have been able to sustain me to continue trading for over 4 decades. So hopefully they will be able to do the same for you. So since this is going to be an educational class today, once again, please ask me any question that you'd like. I want to make sure that I answer them all, but please wait till the end of class to ask questions, okay? I have a lot of slides and a lot of information to share with you, and I don't want to slow down the presentation and take all of your day going over questions. So please wait till the end, and I promise I'll get to each and every one of your questions at the end. Also, I just want to let you know that this presentation is being recorded. So if you have to leave early, or if you're having some issues with the technical basis where you can't see or hear everything, don't worry, we'll send you a link to this recording. Okay, let's begin. Now, I want to start out by sharing with you what my mentors taught me some 4 decades ago. They said, Steve, the market, not some outside source, not some trading guru, not some chat room, not some earnings estimate, some report, but the market. The market is always telling you in advance what it wants to do. So think about that. Isn't that a tremendous edge? If I knew in advance what something was, what wanted to do, or what some direction, or what it wanted to do or take place, wouldn't that be a tremendous edge in any endeavor? Well, we have that edge with the market. So someone would say, well, then why aren't more people successful? Why do the majority of traders fail? Well, it's because we've always been taught to listen to an outside source, myself included. When I was first trading, I was taught I had to listen and wait for all the earnings reports because that was going to tell me if a stock was going to go up or down. Or I had to wait for my guru, some trading, market master that was going to tell me what he thought of the markets. Or there was some master indicator that knew all the answers that no one had any idea what it was based on, but that always signaled an uptrend or a downtrend. See, there was always an outside source. But see, I was never listening to the source in front of me. This was the market. I never really listened to it, really knew how to, because we're never taught that. We're never taught how to listen to the market because the market speaks a different language than us. You know, that it's different. We use the language of earnings, of support and resistance, of Fibonacci, but we don't use the language of the market. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to learn a completely different language. It's not like saying you speak English and in order to be successful, you have to learn French. You don't have to worry about that. All you need is a translator. Okay, now most people don't know how to translate what the market is telling us what it wants to do. But we have a tool that translates what the market wants to do. I've talked about this many years now. It's the PET-D. This is simply a translator. It's not a directional tool that tells you how high something will go or how low something will go. It doesn't predict the bottom or top of a market. It doesn't do that. It just simply translates on a tick-by-tick basis what the market wants to do. And what a great edge. We don't have to rely on the earnings and wait for the third quarter results. We don't have to wait on TV to see what some gurus are saying on a weekly basis. We know on a tick-by-tick basis what the market wants to do because it's being translated to us. So let me show you how simple it is. We formulated the PET-D into a color bar algorithm. We've taken all the hard work out of it for you because it is a formula that needs to be calculated, but because since it's done on a tick-by-tick basis, it's very cumbersome. But guess what? We've taken all the hard work out of it for you, and on our platform, all you simply have to do is click on the PET-D tab right here in the upper green strategy column, and the colors automatically change from green to red. That's the only 2 colors you'll ever see. So as you see here, the beauty of the PET-D is that it tells you which direction you should be trading. You know, a confluence of green bars means you're in an uptrend. Red bars means you're in a downtrend. But here's the real hidden secret. Here's the beauty of what I want to share with you today. The PET-D will at times generate hidden patterns. And these are very high probability setups. Now, most people don't know about these patterns. They just say, well, there's a bunch of green bars, so I guess I should buy, right? Or a bunch of red bars, so I guess I should sell. Well, I mean, you probably wouldn't have much success trading the PET-D like that because you have to know how to properly implement it. And if you know what these hidden patterns are, I mean, you can increase your odds for consistency even more. So here's what we've done. we've developed a scanner. This is our Pet D Master Scanner, which actually searches for these hidden patterns in virtually any market, any time frame, in any direction. Now, we're going to mainly focus on stocks today, but if you were looking at commodities, if you were looking at Bitcoin, at currency pairs, at the futures markets, you could still see these hidden patterns, because wherever there is a market, you will see these hidden patterns, whatever time frame, whatever direction. So it makes no difference. Even though we may have a focus on stocks today, I don't want you to think that it only works for stocks and it only works on daily bars. If you intraday trade, I use this on tick charts for intraday trading the E-mini futures. The same hidden patterns appear. So not to worry if you don't trade this exact market. All right, so here's what is available with our Pet D Master Scanner feature. It identifies 10 individual setup patterns. These are the hidden patterns we talked about. It locates setups in all markets. Once again, it makes no difference what market you trade. It locates setups in all time frames. So it makes no difference if you're a monthly bar trader or a tick chart trader. It makes absolutely no difference. It locates setups in all directions. We know that a lot of traders like to go both long and short. We know that others just like to go long. It makes no difference. It takes seconds to scan the markets. I did a scan the other day. It took less than a minute for me to scan this particular market to look for these particular setups. So you'll know in less than a minute what these hidden pattern setups are. And this can all be done, only done, on our new PTS Primo charting platform. We are constantly improving and upgrading this to give you new features to trade in sync with the market, to teach you how to learn, how to listen to the market. And we have it all here for you, and it's one click away. And we made it extremely, extremely simple. All right, so let's talk about just one of those patterns. I will share one of those patterns for you. I'm not going to give you all the rules, but I'll give you the basic Pet D setup, okay? There are a few more rules that are incorporated within this specific pattern, and I don't want to give them away because some of you may say, well, I'm going to start looking for them. I don't need the Pet D, and I'll start, I can find them on my own, and you'll most likely lose money. So I just want to give you what the Pet D is translating, okay? And then once again, we have a good crowd here today. If someone joined us late, we'll take the questions at the very end. All right, here's this particular pattern. If we're looking for buy, obviously we want to be in some type of an uptrend, okay? And we will, our rules of this particular pattern are defined in the scan. But let's just say we are in an overall uptrend. Well, then we look for 3 consecutive red bars that are painted by the Pet D, followed by a green bar. That's it. That's all you're looking for. That defines a high probability setup that most likely there are a great chance that you're going to go higher. Now, how high? We don't know. Remember, the Pet D is not a predictive tool. It doesn't tell you how high something will go or how low something will go. It just tells you the direction currently at the moment of where it wants to go. Now, conversely, let's say the market, according to the rules and requirements, determines that we're in an overall downtrend. Okay, if the trend is down, well, then all we're looking for are 3 consecutive green bars followed by a red bar. That's it. Because in an overall downtrend, you will get some green bars. So we want to see 3 in a row followed by 1 red bar. Remember, if we're in an overall uptrend, you will get some red bars. That means the stock or whatever you're looking at is going lower. That's okay. The trend is still up. It's just a pullback. So we're looking for 3 consecutive red bars and then followed by 1 green. This is all it takes. It's that simple. Now, if you were to look for these on a nightly basis, going through the literally hundreds, if not thousands of stocks and issues that are readily available, the way I used to some 30, 40 years ago, it would take you all night to look for these. And I had to do these. I looked at the stocks I traded were 60 stocks, so I had to go through all 60 stocks. But if I wanted to look at other stocks to get a better idea, to see what was going on in the market, it would take me a good 3 to 4 hours to figure all this out. And once again, this can be done in a matter of minutes. You'll have it all in front of you for the next day or even for the next minute if you're trading minute bars. All right, so let me show you what I mean here. We're looking at an older chart of Apple, all right? So that we've gone through a scan, and the scan has deduced that we're in an overall uptrend, and now it scans for this particular pattern. Remember, there are 10 patterns. This is just one of them. And what do we have here? Well, we have a series of red bars, but remember, all we need are 3 consecutive red bars followed by a green bar. So what is that telling us? Well, we're not waiting for the earnings. We're not waiting for volume to peak. We're not waiting for a Fibonacci retracement. All we're waiting for is this pattern, because what is the market telling us? That most likely it wants to go higher. And as you can see, Apple went up 22 points after that. Now, if you miss that, don't worry. If the trend is strong enough, whatever you're trading, you'll see more of these setups. So as you can see, another setup was generated right here. 3 consecutive red bars followed by a green bar. Now, not as conducive to profits as the previous one, but still, for a day trade, you could have had a nice profit right there. All right, letter K. Once again, we do the scan, and the scan deduces that we're in an overall uptrend, and it sees 3 red bars followed by a green bar. So rather than looking through hundreds of charts, you know right off the bat that there's a setup to go long letter K. All right, now you can decide where you want to get in. Remember, this is not a strategy. It does not tell you where the entry is. It does not tell you where to place your stop. It does not tell you where to get out. All this is doing is identifying high probability areas of what the market wants to do. So as you can see here, that's the setup that was scanned for you. 9 points in the next 3 or 4 weeks. How about to the downside? IVZ. All right, someone looking at this will say, how in the world can you find out what this stock wants to do? Well, according to the rules of the scan, we're in an overall downtrend. So we want to see 3 green bars followed by a red. Well, we have a couple of red here. We see a series of green bars followed by a red. All we need are 3 consecutive green bars followed by a red. That is telling us the market wants to go lower. How low? We have no idea. How do we enter? It's up to us. We can enter at the market. We can wait for a confirmation. It's entirely up to us. This is not a strategy. It's not a trading system. It's simply locating and identifying a high probability change of direction. 6 points to the downside. Not a very expensive stock, but still, percentage-wise, that's a nice move for a $30 stock down to 6 points. Now, if you missed that, once again, here was another setup. If you missed that one, another one here. Do you see these setups all along the way? Well, these ones weren't, but you had 2 more, actually. All right, here's another in BMRN, all right? Red bars followed by a green bar. All we need are 3 consecutive red followed by a green. Stock goes up 10 points in the next week or 2. Facebook. This is an older chart before it really fell out of bed, but as you can see here, we have green, 1, 2, 3 red, 1 green. What is that telling us? It's telling us that the market is changing its mind. It wants to go higher. That's your setup right there. You went up 20 points in the next 3 or 4 weeks. See how simple this is? See, trading is really simple. We just make it more difficult than it has to be. You just have to have a couple of highly consistent rules and learn how to listen to the market. You see, no emphasis at all is given on earnings. There's no emphasis at all given on support and resistance. No emphasis at all on volume or on Fibonacci or Elliott wave. Things of that nature. Those things are too subjective. Trust me, I was using those things 41 years ago. I couldn't make sense out of them. So they're not going to start making sense right now. They're very subjective. You know, one person's support can be another person's resistance. Why not just forget all that and listen to the market? What's the market telling you? Forget about what some support, resistance, what some institutions are doing. Forget about that. What is the market telling you? Well, these scans will look for these high probability setups. How about Pepsi? Okay, well, we have a series of green bars followed by 1 red bar. All right, it looks as if we're going sideways. How in the world can we determine what it wants to do? Well, this is a hidden pattern that we have found over the years that is a high probability for going lower. Stock goes down 13 points in the next 3 weeks. Okay, think you could have done well off that? Or if you were long and you saw this pattern, don't you think you'd want to move your stop up or at least maybe sell a portion of your position? This is a way it can help you if you're on the wrong side too. All right, we have a series of red bars, then a series of green, then a series of red, then 1 green. Now, even though all of these bars closed up, this closed up on the day, this closed up, they are all outlined red. So what is that telling you? It's telling you that the short-term trend, the market was saying we're going lower. But then once this bar appeared, it's outlined green. So this fulfills our pattern. 3 consecutive red followed by a green. The stock went up 5 points in the next week. Simple. VRSN, same thing. We have a series of red bars followed by 1 green. Here's our pattern that the scan searched for us and automatically found in roughly less than a minute. 20 points in the next month. Okay. How about WIN? Someone looking at this would say there's absolutely no rhyme or reason to this stock. There's no way anyone can tell what it's going to do. It's going sideways. It's in a range. It's been in the same range for the last week or two. How can you determine what this wants to do? Well, when you look at things like ranges or J-hook patterns or, just head and shoulders, those things are very subjective. A lot of people use those to trade, but they're very difficult to discern and figure out what they look like exactly. It's much easier if you just focus on what the market is telling you. And when we created the PET-D into this color bar algorithm, it's simple. 3 green bars followed by a red is a high probability signal saying the market may want to go lower. As you can see, it dropped 17 points in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, some news came down here where it gapped down, and someone would say, well, yeah, you were probably following the earnings or the estimates, right? That's probably why it went down, and that's probably what you guys were basing this off of. No, we do not require or our fundamental news or earnings or anything involved in any of our methods or techniques. It's all based off of listening to the market. The market doesn't know anything about earnings. It doesn't know anything about volume or support and resistance. It just is looking at things on a tick-by-tick basis and deciding what it wants to do. Here's an example in Netflix, an older chart. Consecutive red bars followed by 1 green bar. There's our pattern right there. You could have gone the night before. You could have scanned and seen this. Now, you could have decided for yourself, well, maybe I'll buy calls tomorrow. Maybe I'll actually buy the stock. Or if you're short, maybe you'll cover. Either way, it would have been a good idea because look what happened to the stock. In the next month, went up 110 points. And we're not saying you would have made 110, but you could have potentially captured that based off this setup. Now, remember I said that this will also work and be applied in other markets and time frames. So let's look at a chart here of the E-mini. This is an hourly chart. Someone would say, well, Steve, this is going lower. Look at this. It's falling out of bed. We're probably just going to bounce and then go lower. Well, we apply the PET-D. Look at that. Perfect setup. 3 red bars followed by 1 green bar. That's not going lower according to the PET-D. The PET-D is telling us it wants to go higher, 25 points in the next day, okay? Or $1,200, $1,250 per contract. Once again, we're not saying you would have made $1,250, but that's a potential you could have had to capture this. How about a 5-minute bar? Okay, well, we have 3 red, 1 green, nothing happened after that, it didn't go higher. So this is where we're saying it's consistent. This doesn't work 100% of the time, but you have to be diligent. So based on off of this, you had 3 red and 1 green. There would not have been a good trade there, all right? And you would have lost a small amount. This is a 5-minute bar. But then you continue to watch for setups. Here's 3 green and 1 red. All right, so you just would simply change. And you can see here it is, and then this followed by another one. So you're getting 2 examples to go short now. 8 points to the downside in the next 2 or 3 hours. That's $400 per contract. So even though you may lose a point or so on a faulty setup, that's okay. It just means the market is changing its mind. It's kind of in an indecision mode. But once it does, as long as you're there and you're being diligent and you're following, well, you'll most likely be able to capture what you lost and get back on track. All right, here's an example in the Canadian dollar, a 4-hour chart. We know a lot of currency pair traders like to trade on a 4-hourly chart. What could you find out here? It doesn't really seem like much. Well, you apply the PET-D, and it's deducing that we are in an overall downtrend. So you wouldn't want to be looking for buy signal, so it's looking for a sell setup. There's the sell setup. 3 consecutive green bars followed by a red, 200 pips coming down in the next couple of weeks, all right? Or $2,000 roughly per contract. That's a 4-hour chart. What if we look at a daily chart in the euro? Well, once again, the scan has figured out that the overall trend is up. So we're only going to look for buy setups in this particular case. And what do we have here? 3 red followed by a green. That is a perfect buy setup. So this would have given you, very high confident level to take this if you were thinking about going long, and 500 pips in the next couple of weeks, or $5,000 roughly, potentially you could have captured. Okay, so let's recap before we go into question and answer. Remember, I promised you could answer your question. I'm going to share with you a great offer we have for all the attendees today. The PET-D Master Scanner identifies high probability setups that are based on numerous PET-D patterns. And these are hidden patterns, patterns that my mentors taught me and other patterns that I have identified over my 40 years of applying this. They can be used in any market, in any direction, and found in any time frame. So don't worry if you trade, commodities. You'll see abundance of these in commodities. You'll see them in any market, any time frame, and any direction. And remember, the only place you can find this scanner, the only place you can find these setups is on our PTS Primo charting platform. There's nowhere else you can find it. I know a lot of people have tried to figure out what the PETD is. I've seen the message boards. I've seen where people say, oh, yeah, it's just a moving average crossover. Well, it isn't. Trust me. If it were that simple, boy, I wouldn't have had to work so hard the first 10 years I was using it on the floor. It's a lot more difficult to calculate than simply using a moving average crossover. But we've taken all the hard work out of it for you. And on top of that, simply because you know what the PETD is constructed from would not make you successful because you wouldn't know how to use it. Well, that's what these hidden patterns do. We show you these hidden patterns and we share with you what they're based off of. And then you simply can scan for them. This is the educational portal that teaches you how to listen to the market. And you can only find what I just shared with you, the scanner, on the new PTS Primo charting platform. So as we close here, ask yourself, we're at the end of November. I say every webinar I say this, and we get closer and closer to the end of the year. We only roughly have a month to go. We have a month left in 2018. I can almost say without any doubt that no one here is close to where they thought they would start 2018. All right. I'm sure you all had hopes and dreams about where you wanted to conclude the year. You wanted to make that extra income, maybe go on that dream vacation or build that addition to your home. And most likely you're not there. That's okay. Don't worry. I was the same way when I first started. I wanted to, make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I usually wound up losing money. That's okay. Here's your chance, though, to get on board for 2019. Why start out 2019 and conclude it the same way you did 2018? Don't you want to start out on the right track? Don't you think these scans could have helped your trading this past year? Here's a great offer we have for all the attendees today. It's a great offer as well as a great discount. We're going to offer you our PETD Master Scanner at a great special, okay? Now remember, this is instant scanner access. You're going to get instant access to this 10 new proprietary PETD Master Scans. You can add to current positions. It unlocks hidden PETD patterns. It's an educational, we have educational scanning videos so that it's not just a black box. You don't have any idea what you're scanning for. We show you what you're looking for, what the rules are of each particular scan. Once again, any market, any time frame, and you'll get educational correspondence along with myself. You can email me anytime you're not familiar with something or you still haven't understood it. Now let me show you how simple it is. Here's an example in Amazon, an older example. Someone looking at this will say, well, Steve, I don't need this because I figured out how to use this right here, okay? Here we have 3 down days and an up day. So this is obviously a buy signal. I don't need the PETD. I don't need the scanner to tell me. So I'm just going to buy this. This fits exactly what I saw in your webinar. And so this is a buy signal, okay? So you jump in and buy, and then look what happens. 240 points to the downside. This is why you need this scanner and the PETD, because you can't just guess and think that, well, I see what the pattern is and have it all figured out. There's no reason for me to become a student of this because it's too easy to figure out. If you had the scanner, you would have seen that you would have needed 3 red bars followed by a green bar, and you didn't have that here, okay? So there's no setup to go long. That's the beauty of these hidden patterns. And remember, there's a total of 10 altogether for both sides of the market. Let me share with you how simple it is on our platform, just to show you how simple it is. You would click on the PETD scanner icon right here in the upper left-hand corner, and this will appear, all right? This has all our different scans, and you'll see the daily, load symbols, and scan. This is what you would do. You would simply click on load symbols, and after you do that, you have a symbol list of all the different markets you want to scan, all right? Right here, we scan the S&P 100. And then you would simply click on scan, or I should say click on whatever you're interested in, whatever scans, click on scan, and you'll see a series of green and red bars. That means there's a buy signal, it means there's a sell signal, and so on, okay? Now let me share with you what you could have scanned for a couple of weeks ago on the 9th. Let's say we had this presentation a couple of weeks ago. You became a member of the PETD Scanner course, and you have the PETD Scanner. So you scan, and you see here that Tiffany on the 9th generated one of the sell signals. Why? Because you have 3 red and 1 green, okay? That's the pattern we're talking about. The overall trend is down. You have 3 red and 1 green. So what is that telling you? That you should buy, Tiffany? No, this is telling you from the market The pet D is translating what the market wants to do on a daily bar basis, and it's saying most likely it's going to go lower. So should we be buying Tiffany? No. If we're already long Tiffany, should we be holding on to it? Well, maybe. We don't know yet, but you may want to protect yourself. This is a red flag. So you may want to, maybe if you had 1,000 shares, maybe sell half of it, maybe move your stop up so that if it did go lower, at least you didn't lose a lot. Either way, those would have been great actions to take, because look what happened coming into today. The stock has gone down 20 points since the 9th, and even today it gapped down, I believe, 10 points based off some negative third quarter earnings report. Okay? Now, we had no idea what the earnings were going to be or what the estimations would be. All right? We had no idea what the news would be. So someone would say, well, yeah, you guys must have studied and done your research on the estimates, and maybe they weren't as good or whatever. There's some bad news on the company. Absolutely not. That is not required in any of the scans. So someone would say, well, then why did you decide to exit this or go short? Because the market told us. You see, we never listen to the market. Now, it's at this point today where most people are saying, wow, that's negative news. I've got to sell. Where 20 points higher, you could have already been given that information from the market. You don't have to wait for an outside source to tell you once you have a translator that is translating what the market wants to do. So that's why we don't rely on news. We don't rely on earnings. We don't rely on master indicators that predict something. We don't rely on some guru in a chat room or a trading room. We only rely on what the market is telling us at the moment. And would you have liked to have had this information? Well, it's constantly generating information like this on a daily basis. So this is where the scanner can really help you with your trading. And this is all on our PTS Primo charting platform. Now, along with the scanner, we're going to give you a great discount on our PTS Primo charting platform if you don't have it already. Now, we're going to give you 6 months of the platform, usually costing $9.95, but not to worry, we're not going to charge you $9.95. We're going to give you a great discount. In fact, we're going to give you the best discount you can get. We're going to give you 6 months free of our PTS Primo charting platform with the scanner. So all you're paying for is the scanner, and you're going to see how it works so well on the platform, okay? Remember, once again, this is the Pet D Master Scanner plus platform special. It comes with 10 proprietary scans for hidden setups. Also comes with educational correspondence from yours truly. Here's how to take advantage of this, okay? This was usually cost $14.95. We're giving you a discount of over $200 or $200 to be exact, down to $12.95. We can also offer you payment plans. So if you want to come up with a small sum and pay on a monthly basis, you can do that as well. Here's how to take advantage of that, though. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. I developed a platform with them. I handle all the teaching and the educational aspects. They handle all the tech support and the discount pricing. So anything involved in those lines, they can help you with. Setting up a payment plan, setting you up with the platform, all of that information. So I would suggest calling them at 310-598-6677. Or you can go to this link right here, protraderstrategies.com/PetDMasterScanner. You can copy that down in your browser and go there, or simply go to the chat box on the far right-hand corner and click on that link. It'll take you right there to that page. There's a live link there, okay? So I'm going to leave this information up here while I answer any of your questions. I want to thank you all for holding off on any questions. And remember, if you have something, be sure to email, I'm saying be sure to ask them and put them in the question and answer box right now. And I see a question here. What happens if I already have the platform? That's a great question. I would still, if you have the platform already and you want to get the Pet D scanner, contact Pro Trader Strategies. Maybe you can set up a payment plan or set up some type of other discount, all right? Remember, this is coming with 6 months free of the platform, so it's a great, great offer. Sunil is saying, it looks good, but unless I try it out on that trial basis, how do I know whether it works consistently or not? Well, I understand what you're saying, but once again, once you have it, we don't offer trials, because once you have it, you'll have all the information, because we tell you what it's based off of. See, it's not a black box. And so, it would be comparable to me saying, well, once I give you all the free information, how do I know that you're going to use it or not, and not sell it to someone else? I could say the same thing. So that's why we don't believe in trials. See, we're not like a black box company where we just give you something that you don't understand what it's based off and then say good luck. We explain what these scans are based off of. We explain all the setups, and we give you informational, educational videos on all of them. So you could pass that information to anyone you'd want, or we've seen our products being sold on the internet. And so this is why we're trying to keep it all for just proprietary customers, so that it's not stolen and not used by anyone else. That's why we don't have trials. Now, we do have, our Pro Trader Strategies does have a policy. If you're not happy with it, they will transfer in, I believe it's in the first 2 weeks or a month. If you're not happy with the product, you can also call them up and contact them and ask for something else and exchange it for another product, because we have multiple, different strategies, different ways to trade, different things available, and you can exchange it for something else. So I would suggest talking to one of the consultants at Pro Trader Strategies. There's no obligation. They're not going to hold you down to anything. You can get more information and then make a decision what you like. But please remember that this discount and everything is going to go for a short amount of time. It's not going to be here most likely next week, so you have roughly less than a week to decide before it goes back up to that regular price, okay? I totally understand, Sunil, your question, but trust me, you can go and do a Google search and look at some of our testimonials, and you'll see how many people love the scanner as well as our other products, and then you'll know that they have a high level of consistency. Plus, I can tell you I've been using these for over 4 decades personally myself, and so if they work for me, I'm sure they can help you as well, okay? Good questions, though. People are asking me about payment plans. Yes, contact Pro Trader Strategies. Remember, you don't have to put up the full amount in order to take advantage of this great deal. You can come up with a small amount, a small deposit, and still be up and running with this as early as today. So there's no reason why. A lot of people are saying, what if I don't have the $12.95? That's okay. For a small discount, which you can work out with them since they handle that, you can be up and running and have it all available. Some people are saying, does this work on TradeStation or Metastock? No, this is only available on our platform. This is the beauty of this. This is another reason why we're keeping this in-house, so people won't steal this and use it on other platforms. This is our proprietary scan based off our proprietary tools. So this is something that we have come up with. You won't find it anywhere else. This is not something that is a common tool. It's not a common scan that most people look at. This is something that you're only going to get here. That's why we're, giving you a great deal, and that's why we want you to come on board and be a member of ours, okay? Okay, great questions. I want to thank you so much for attending today. If you have any more questions or you happen to come up with another one once we've concluded, don't worry. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. If you don't want to call them, you can email them at the address right there. But I would suggest calling them because they can talk to you about a payment plan. You don't have to do anything. You're not obligated, but you can get a good idea of what it takes to get involved with a payment plan, and you can get more information as well, okay? So there's a lot of great information. There's no obligation. Feel free to contact Pro Trader Strategies. As we close, I hope you saw something out of this presentation today, how you could really elevate your trading. Remember, we have 1 month left to go. Most likely, you're not going to reverse everything, all the damage that's happened over you this past year in 1 month. So why not start out 2019 in the right direction? Why not learn for the first time how to listen to the market? Have you ever gone to a webinar before where someone has said, we don't care about news, we don't care about chat rooms, we don't care about support and resistance, we only care about listening to the market, because that's really what works. All these other things have been around for ages. My father, who first explained the markets to me, used to trade with support and resistance and stuff, and it really doesn't have any high level of consistency. So why not use something that's worked for me for over 4 decades, and that we can teach you to use as well, okay? I want to thank you so much for attending today. I wish you the best of luck, but most importantly, I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine at the PET D Scanner course. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.